Hello everyone, I'm Leslie Cornwell, Certified Nurse Midwife with Empowering Midwifery Education. This next section has to do with finding your ideal client. It's a legal disclaimer we put at the beginning of all of our presentations. This information is for educational and general purposes only. It's not intended for substituting as professional, legal, or clinical advice. We strive to keep our information as accurate and timely as possible, but no guarantees, and really stress to anyone on presentations just to do your due diligence in your local area. The course objectives: the students will be able to verbalize why it's important to understand your ideal client. The students will be able to verbalize exactly what an ideal client looks like, what their ideal client looks like. Students will be able to verbalize who is that potential ideal client, how do you categorize them, how do you find them, how do you narrow down your search to what you're looking for with your practice. The students will be able to understand the ideal client's needs so that they can actually market and target and find them and help to narrow down the search of finding those perfect clients to take care of. So this topic is really important because I want to stress too many midwives, too many practitioners, too many business owners in general just are like, I want to put a bunch of marketing campaigns out there and any customer is better than no customer. And I beg to disagree, especially with midwifery. We serve small, private, personalized care. We don't have thousands and thousands of people that we're serving. We're taking 4 to 6 births a month on average if we're just doing strictly obstetrical care. So we can be picky and choosy on the type of clients we're serving. We're plenty busy. There's typically a waiting list. It doesn't matter if you're just getting started or well established. I do a lot of consulting services talking to midwives about not just creating marketing campaigns to get people that are 18 to 35 looking for a home birth, fitting certain criteria that's more likely to choose a home birth. It's narrowing it down. What type of clients come through the door you start taking care of make your heart sing? What do you like to take care of 18-year-olds? Do you like to take care of 35-year-olds? Do you like to go do home visits for the Amish? Do you like to do a religious homeschool group? Do you like to do an underserved population? Do you like a certain area, the city, the country? Do you want to do birth center? Do you want to do home? Do you want to do a large radius, or do you want to narrow it down? So there's a lot of things we do discussions on to narrow down. The more detailed you can make in your mind's ideal client you want to serve, the easier it is to figure out and reverse engineer a marketing campaign to find those clients and draw them your direction. So what's the definition of an ideal client? It's someone that I already hinted at. Somebody, when they walk through the door, you're so excited that they got pregnant again. You're so excited every single prenatal visit when you see them on your schedule. Their births are amazing, their postpartum care, their family, their lifestyle, the home visits. You feel so deeply connected with certain clients, and that's okay. And think about, what do you like about them? Is it certain topics you talk about? Is it philosophy of how they look at life? Is it stay-at-home moms? They're busy business women. They have 2 kids. They have 10 kids. They really have high values similar to what you do and what you like to talk about. So I always stress, you want to surround yourself by great people that you're hiring just as much as you want to surround yourself by great customers. There are lots and lots of people out there to serve. I think sometimes when a new practice gets started, or that fear of being able to make the numbers work and I have to take every client possible, sometimes it has a ripple effect where it causes more burnout, more trauma, more risk for the practice than you realize. So I always stress, we want to market to your ideal client. We want to hone in a perfect world. If this was on your delivery list all day long, who would that be? What would it look like? And there's 2 different ways to think about how you're going to find your ideal client. You can think of the demographics, you can think of a service area, location, a gender, a family structure, an age range, an income status, certain occupations. I noticed I connected better with the nurses, the healthcare providers, the medical assistants, the physicians, the people that were a little more balanced with thought process about a hospital birth. Now, not saying it's right or wrong, but based on my philosophy of how I take care of birth, how I screen, how I offer services, I could relate a little bit more to people that had a background in the medical community. And so maybe that's something, or maybe it's the complete opposite. You're a direct entry midwife and you really like the naturopaths, the chiropractors, the people that chose a different philosophy of medicine approach, and they're the ones that are very ideal to you. The other ones are to think about your audience and how you would present content to them, the tone, the demeanor, the wording you would use. If you're wanting more young, rebellious, feisty people, you're going to use very different wording than the Amish, the Mennonites in a newspaper article, and the conservative wording and being respectful of cultural beliefs and wishes and thinking around the birth process, the family unit, the habits, the characteristics. What are things you love about certain clients? What are things you don't love about certain clients? And how do you narrow down your marketing campaign? Not saying it's going to be 100%, but instead of just a gem that you're getting once in a while, I would love the gems to be 70 to 80% of the clients that come through the door. So how do you choose? I think this is the hard part. When the midwives get the phone call, they're just so excited, hoping that every single person becomes their client. They just want to fill their delivery fit list fast so they can sleep better and have peace of mind. And I challenge you, I challenge midwives to think, I am going to get lots of clients. It does not matter if I fill in 1 week or I fill in 3 weeks or 3 months. I am going to get my volume. I am going to get the services fulfilled that I need to pay my bills, to run my practice. Approach things differently when you're talking to clients. They're not just interviewing you, you're also interviewing them. So make a list of questions. Make a list of questions for the receptionist. Make a list of questions that you're going to ask during a consult. It's just as much for them to determine if you're the right fit of a midwife for them as it is the mindset that, is this client the best fit for your practice? And I think sometimes it's hard because if they've had trauma and they have no money and they have a pity story for you, you feel almost like, I feel bad for them. I've got to take them. But always think, is this the best thing for my practice, for my mental health, for who I'm looking to serve? Because if you're burnout and exhausted, or you have a lawsuit that drags on for a year because of one client, you're not able to serve your community, your family. I really want people to stress, more importantly, screening their clients just as much as they are screening you to see if you guys are a good fit to work together. Birth is a very intimate process. We are in their homes, they're coming to the birth centers, they have transports. It's a lifelong experience that they will remember forever. And we want to make sure that we are the best midwife for their needs, for their goals, and that we are getting the best clients for our practice and our goals as well. So consider the current habits. How are you digging into finding your clients right now? Are you going to certain Facebook groups? Are you putting ads in certain directions? Does your website have certain words and philosophies and demeanors that are going to attract certain clients? For example, if you want more of a Christian-based following, you're going to do a lot of Bible, you're going to do a lot of references from religious things that you have and that's important to you. And you're going to attract more clients that can connect with you on that level. If you are someone that's not so much religious and you love water births, you love clients that are off the grid, they're homesteaders, they homeschool, they see a chiropractor, they're not part of the mainstream medical system, you're going to show that vibe. You're going to show the color scheme, the branding, the conversations, the discussions you're having on your website to help direct and attract to your practice the clients that can relate to your philosophy. So don't be shy. It is very different if you're running a team practice. You can still find your ideal clients, but if you're a solo midwife practice, be super picky who you're going to take, what you're going to serve, because it is your time. You're going to spend a lot of time with this family. And if you're already feeling tension and your gut is telling you, this person's already going to drive me nuts. They're very high maintenance. They're needy. They needed 2 consults. They spent 2 hours with me when I told them the consult was an hour. You're going to get that same repetition of respect to you throughout the entire prenatal care. So we have to be very careful. We aren't here to serve everyone. We are not here to just take every client that wants us as a midwife. We have to set our own bar higher and really filter well. How do we find the people we are looking for? You could put things out on the internet. You can put things at certain practices. Maybe you have a primary care physician you absolutely love. You love the model of care. You want that physician's clients, that chiropractor's clients, to become your clients. So you're going to ask to put up flyers. You're going to ask to do some cross-marketing campaigns. So if you notice there's a certain environment, there's a mom meetup group that you absolutely love, all the ladies at these support groups, these community events, figure out a marketing campaign to attract those ladies, those families into your practice. So we don't want to just look at marketing campaigns to everybody, to the masses. As soon as they're 18, 35, they're pregnant, they got that pee stick that's positive. We want to narrow down our search. Who do you want to serve and how do you want them to find you? So identify your goals short-term and long-term with the practice. If you want to grow and expand, you're going to have to give a little bit. You're going to have to not as much narrow down your ideal clients until you're busier and you've got a waiting list. If you're solo and simple and you're doing really, really well with your volume and where you're at, you can be insanely picky. I've had some midwives are like, I only do multips, they're related to my church, they're homeschoolers, they have no medical conditions whatsoever, their normal body mass index. I've had some midwives have insanely detailed ideal clients they're serving, and that's who they only took on. They did a lot of filtering out through their website, through their intake calls, through potentially consults, and they just took a couple ladies here and there, and that was what they wanted to serve, and that's what made them happy. Maybe you had some trauma in the past, maybe you're going through a lawsuit and you feel like you have to be insanely, because of your anxiety, because of who you are at this moment, you may change from the ideal client you want now compared to what you're going to have 5 years from now. So always understand this is an ever-evolving process, and maybe you're a brand new midwife and you're like, I don't know what my ideal client is. I don't know who I want to serve. And so I always go back to the basics. When you go to your friends and you hang out with people and you're attracted to go have a barbecue at someone's house and you want to call someone up, what are things with your friends that you really like about them? What are things that attract you to them, to hang out with them, to interact, to have conversations? Think about that with your ideal client so that you can surround your personal life and your professional life with those similar personalities and values. So you want to identify, when you find your ideal client, you want to increase the success that they're going to become your client. Maybe at a consult, you're like, I would love this lady to be my patient. I would love to take care of their family. It's a two-way street. We have to make sure that they like us and that we're not just trying to narrow down, are they a good fit for me to take care of? It's a negotiation. It's a sales. Consulting, whether it's on the phone or in person, is an art. We have to bridge the gap of figuring out their pain points, figuring out their challenges, figuring out their style of learning. What hits them? Are they about lifestyle? Are they about money and the cost? Are they about the feelings that the birth experience with a midwife with your practice is going to be? You have a style of how you're going to brand and direct people to your practice based on their thought process. So I'm going to give you an example. I've gotten really good, and most midwives get really good at this. We let the client and her partner, whoever comes to the consult, take the lead first, and we're taking lots of notes on paper in our minds of things they're saying and how they're saying it. So an example would be, most women, everybody wants safety. That's a given. That's an automatic thing. So you don't want to make any assumptions. You want to state the obvious. You want to state the safety things that you have with all your clients. But some of them really want to know about how you make them feel during birth. What is the style like? How much autonomy do you give them? What empowerment level and advocacy of support are you going to give during pregnancy, birth, and postpartum period? The husbands and partners tend to want to know about the finances, the statistics, especially when there's engineers and there's more analytical thinking people in the conversations. They want to know the numbers, the data, especially if your practice has been around a while. You can show them the amazing policies, protocols, standards, statistics of your practice and the outcomes that you're doing. Testimonials, they like more objective data versus the touchy-feely emotions. So you have to get a sense of the room, how you're going to approach the pain points, the fears, the myths, the anxieties, the things that are going to drive people towards you. So one of the ultimate things is their buying decision. Like if they're cash, are they insurance, are they on Medicaid and low income? You want to be able to negotiate. If you really like this lady as an ideal client, you want to talk about the services and the payment plan options and the ways to make things a little more flexible so that they can make the final decision that's best for them. If you've hit your max level and you know that you don't want any extra clients, you may not have as much wiggle room in what you're going to offer offer. And if they want to take it, they want to take it. But if you know they're an ideal client, you may be a little more negotiable of things that you can barter, things that you can trade off to help make it a more ideal option for them to be a client of your practice. So I want you to just go to the basics. I want you to ask yourself, I want you to make a list. Nothing is obvious. The way that they talk, the way they call you, are they sweet? Are they polite? Is it their first baby? Is it their third baby? They've breastfed all their babies. They travel the world. They're part of the military family. I mean, the list can go on and on of very specific types of lifestyles, goals, values, where people are in life and who they are, of what you're looking for. So you need to get excited. You want to be excited when you come through the door, you're working, you're doing a home visit, you're getting called for their birth. You want to build a lifelong relationship because many of these ladies are going to have many, many babies with you. And if you take on one lady that wasn't really meant to be your ideal client and she liked you, guess what? She's going to send her friends to you and you're going to get a ripple effect because guess what? Her friends have similar demeanor, mindset, philosophy, personality to her, or otherwise they wouldn't hang out. So I really want to stress in the beginning, it's most important to start from day one of narrowing down your ideal clients because you're going to get a ripple effect of referrals from their friends, from their warm market. And if you're narrowing down enough in the beginning and you're just taking whoever, you're going to get some ladies that are sent as referrals. You're going to get repeat clients. You're going to get more challenges than what you want because they're going to send those not so ideal clients your way. So what are things you need to do? There's many different ways to get yourself out there. You can do referrals, you can do business cards, you can do flyers, you can do many different marketing campaigns depending on who you want to serve. So you got to think about that. If you want to serve your church, your religious organization, you're going to talk to the bishop, the minister, the pastor to be able to put promotional material up, to make an announcement during a service. You want to think about creatively what is the cost-effective way to narrow down your ideal clients. You don't want to put a ton of money out there and you're filtering through 1,000 calls and you're so busy you can't respond fast enough to the lady that is your ideal client. So you want to make sure your website, you're putting great stuff on certain Facebook groups that are attracting ladies specifically to your philosophy, your thought process, making very clear your branding campaign so that you're attracting the clients that are looking for that type of branding campaign. So we want to talk about their pain points, their solutions. That's more understanding their clients' needs. You've attracted them to, you've brought them this way. Now it's your job to seal the deal and show them and negotiate and provide the value that they're looking to find. I always stress to people, think of the platinum rule, not the golden rule, but the platinum rule. The golden rule is to do unto others how you would like to be treated. The platinum rule is do unto others how they would like to be treated. So it's an art, it's a skill. We have to read the room, we have to listen carefully, we have to hear these key words. One of my favorite books is called The Emotional Fingerprint, and it really teaches you how to listen. What is important to people? What are they looking for? What are those things that you're trying to validate to help make those ideal clients your clients? So this is just a summary. I talk a lot with consulting clients and marketing campaigns. It's really, really important to learn your ideal client, to learn their style, their beliefs, where they hang out, where they find things, where they go to shop, wherever you can find them to attract them and make them aware of your practice. Rather than just guessing and throwing a bunch of stuff out there, I want you to do some due diligence. Talk to your friends, talk to some past clients you really love, and ask them, where do they hang out? Do they go to parks? Do they go to certain zoos? Do they have mom groups? Do they work at certain places? Oh my goodness. I can tell you stories that I got into this amazing hospice practice. There was like 8 nurses that came and seen me and did a home birth, and they were amazing and sweet. It was a Christian-based hospice service, and I was like, are there any more pregnant ladies in your practice, in your office, in your business? Because I absolutely loved serving them. And so don't be surprised, like you may get one client you absolutely love and ask extra hard for referrals and recommendations from them. Hey, do you got any ladies that are pregnant or anybody I can help to get some information? Can I give you some extra business cards, flyers you can put at work? You can put get-togethers, you go to the gym. Like you're going to find your like-minded clients hang out with like-minded clients you want to take care of. They do. So I really stress to people, get creative. There is no wrong way to market. It's more of marketing to your right clientele and finding the people you want to bring your way. You don't want to bring everybody your way. You want to bring the specific people, the young women, the older women, the family units, you've got a federally qualified health center, you're a nonprofit, you've got grants, you've got low income funding support. Who are your ideal clients and how do you find them? So you want to inquire once you get them to call, once you get them to come in and interview and consult you, and they decide if they want to purchase, they decide if they want your services. Some people will make decisions quickly. If you're really good at marketing, done a great job that they really feel like they know you before they come in, and you've gotten the support team, you've gotten the deal and all the final things figured out at the consult, it's going to make it a lot easier to get more and more of your ideal clients to be part of your practice.